This week we trek out Internships, the official Star Trek timeline, Star Trek 4, and all the happenings in Star Trek gaming. So, let's go. Everyone remember where we parked?
Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Starting in the summer of 2020, the folks that bring you Star Trek, CBS Television Studios, and the folks that bring you the Emmys, the Television Academy, could bring you to LA for the Star Trek Command Training Program. There, LA-based Star Trek staffers will teach 2 interns per semester the ins and outs of TV production, letting them poke around the wardrobe department, animation studio, and even the writer's room, all while earning up to a cool 4,800 quatlus. I mean US dollars. Star Trek Captain Alex Kurtzman said of the program, quote, "The Star Trek universe is an ideal place to celebrate new voices and perspectives. We want to provide the framework to begin entertainment careers in a meaningful way and can't wait to get started," end quote. So, if you're 18 years or older, attending a college or university in the United States, and want to crack at this once-in-a-lifetime experience, check out the description in the video for a link to the application. I'm gonna go apply for my master's program now. I'll be right back. This week, StarTrek.com released a timeline through the Star Trek universe. Part 1. The 2-minute video starts at the very beginning, 13.8 billion years ago, showing clips of Star Trek Voyager's Death Wish Big Bang Adventure. The timeline continues, highlighting instances of other time-traveling shenanigans, as well as marking the whenabouts of the series, movie exploits, and multiverse offshoots. It all concludes with a to-be-continued teaser. Fun, right? Well, eventually. The video, now available on StarTrek.com, is not the first video that was originally released. In that first release, Star Trek Discovery was completely omitted, causing some Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram Trekkies to lose their collective minds, or at least speculate that the series was actually part of an entirely different timeline. And said fans were not happy. But with the edited video, most of the outrage was cooled, but it got scarier than a grinning Vulcan for a moment there. Star Trek movies have had a long history of pre-production starts and stops. Planet of Titans? Anyone? Well, Star Trek Kelvin 4 has been no exception, but this time, though, Trek's legion of fans may have something to get excited about, finally. Deadline reported on Tuesday night that Legion creator Noah Hawley is set to take on both writing and directing duties for the 4th installment of the Kelvin films. According to the article, which was light on details, Hawley's 26 Keys production will work in tandem with JJ's Bad Robot to produce the Chris Pine-led film. Hawley made his bones on, well, Bones. No, not that Bones. Yeah, that one, that Bones. Well, he currently serves as executive producer, writer, director, and showrunner for the Emmy-winning series Fargo. But what about Tarantino? Well, from Deadline, quote, "The studio, separately, is working on a Star Trek spin-off that Quentin Tarantino is eyeing to direct and has been working on with Abrams. This one would likely carry an R rating, with a screenplay by the Revenant scribe Mark L. Smith," end quote. So, it looks like we're getting Star Trek 4 and Trekantino. Well, moving on to Star Trek Online news, exclusivity gets muddy. If you wanted a Vizier variant Sovereign but couldn't get the Attack Wing promo, or the TOS bridge officers but didn't get to the convention, or you missed out on the laser-packing bioengineered Dinosaurus abominations, dinos with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads, well, you're in luck, because Star Trek Online is introducing a new tab into the Zen store called Mud's Market. There you'll be able to find old convention buffs, featured episode rewards, and other assorted promos that are no longer available or difficult to acquire. Prices weren't listed at the time of this recording, but the website warns to watch the market carefully. The store opens on November 22nd. Jack Frost roasting on an open fire. Snowmen nipping at your bum because they're there to kill you. Well, we're now gearing up for Star Trek Online's winter event with deadly snowmen. And now, while the news hasn't been released on their website officially, Star Trek Online's event tab offers a good look at the big prize this year, the Fakiri Farang Dreadnought Carrier. Now, we won't go into the seating, stats, or specs here. You'll have to check out Priority One Podcast for the ins and outs. But it is worth mentioning the console for the newest Fakiri vessel, Open the Maw of Grethor. Quote, when activated, this ship projects a flaming skull in front, dealing fire damage to all foes that get nearby, and launching Lost Souls of Grethor. End quote. A flaming skull. In mobile gaming news, Star Trek Fleet Command is experiencing a mirror universe invasion. In a blog post by Scopely, quote, a mysterious ion storm results in a strange visitor to the Kelvin timeline, one who calls himself Spock. But this is not the noble officer we know. End quote. Promotional images depict Zachary Quinto Spock in full Terran regalia, even sprouting the notorious goatee, which, mind you, looks pretty good on Mr. Quinto. You should try it. In addition to special rewards, top-level commanders have the chance to build an ISS Jellyfish, a command-focused version of the one we know of from the Prime timeline. And I gotta admit, the concept art for this looks pretty wicked. I mean, I want to play with this ship. For a deeper dive into these headlines and more, be sure to open up your favorite podcast app and do a search for Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. Each week, I'm joined by co-hosts Kat and Anthony to discuss the entire Star Trek multiverse, including movies, shows, and, of course, Star Trek gaming. And for more great content from Priority One and the Priority One Armada, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop. Most importantly, tell your friends about this video and, of course, about the podcast, because it's your support that keeps us going. Don't forget, PriorityOnePodcast.com. Let's go. Everyone remember where we parked? I almost fell, but I'm good. Let me deliver that again. How about them apples?